Dear friends, especially to my dear grade 10 Bosconians, my warmest greetings to each one of you. In 2007, I was the principal here in Don Bosco, Handubang. There was one time that one good morning talk of mine was aborted. I had begun speaking and brought out a Fortune magazine, the one that featured Boeing CEO James McNerney in its cover. That was the November 2006 issue. The magazine issue was even named the Excellence issue, since the main story was what it takes to be great. There were different articles by several peak performers where they shared their secrets of greatness. That morning, I was eager to share many of the gems that I have gleaned from the different articles in the magazine. However, as I took out the mag to show it to them, to the Bosconians who were assembled in the gym, many of the students were noisy, apparently uninterested with anything that would be said in the assembly. And so I stopped. I did not want to speak with this kind of disorder. It would be the greatest irony to speak of greatness in a crowd that makes a great cacophony of mumblings and hecklings and grumblings. Instead of an ode to greatness, the talk became a sermon on how to behave in assembly. Fast forward 2 years later, in 2009, I was still principal. Things have come back to me when, browsing through my things, I saw the magazine that I had intended to introduce to the assembly 2 years before. And I leafed through it and remembered that day, but this time already with a smile. The words are familiar. You will achieve greatness only through an enormous amount of hard work over many years. The best people in any field are those who devote the most hours to what the researchers call deliberate practice. It's activity that's explicitly intended to improve performance that reaches for objectives just beyond one's level of competence, provides feedback on results, and involves high levels of repetition. I remember telling the teachers at that time, isn't this an also familiar scenario? Hard work, practice, improved performance, feedback, repetition. These are precisely what we do when we teach our students. If this is so, the recipe or secret for greatness can be found within the very walls of our classrooms. And each one of us, therefore, teacher and student, has the capacity to bring out the best in each one, and thus lead him or her to greatness. This year, the year when you reach the last point, dear grade 10 students, the last point or the terminus ad quem of junior high school, it is apt to remember that in our motto, Ad Maiora Natus, lies an important aspect, that you be men of faith, like our father, Don Bosco. Martin Luther King Jr. once said, take the first step in faith. You don't have to see the whole staircase. Just take the first step. That is what you are doing these days, especially today, the time for your moving up, the culmination of your experience of junior high school. What is in store for you? It may not be so clear at this point, for you do not see the whole staircase. But this step is important. There is senior high school in the near future. There will still be college, the world of work, a family of your own, or whatever vocation the Lord gives you. You take the first step in faith, not because you are devoid of plans and decisions. You may have lots of them. You take the step because you believe. And we, the Salesian educators, believe in you. And we believe in the consoling fact that these young people are worth our time and our passion. We believe that God has called us in our own limited capacity and means to share what we know and therefore uplift our charges. You, the young men to whom He sends us. We believe in God who has made this beautiful exchange of experiences possible. It is He who makes us capable of taking this step in faith. As you move on, or better, as you move up, let that faith that you have be also upgraded. Ad maiorem fidem, towards greater faith. In these times when every calamity has destroyed or continually destroys the optimism and the joy of people, we need men of greater faith. Dear Bosconians, gentlemen, take this step in faith. Congratulations.